Hey, what's up guys? Luke Profit. So this is just a quick video talking about virtual assistants and sort of explaining what they are. So throughout this course, I'm sure you've heard me mention virtual assistants. And yeah, essentially virtual assistants are, now people say virtual assistants and think, oh, maybe it's a robot or something. No, virtual assistants are real people. They're real assistants. They're, real employees that will work for you for very cheap. And the trick is basically you hire people from third world countries that still have internet, still speak English well and stuff like that, but because the cost of living in these third world countries is so much lower, they will work for you for really 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 cheap. And so if you need to do a bunch of manual work or anything like that, instead of hiring an American for 15 bucks an hour or whatever to do all this work for you, you can hire someone for 3.50 an hour, 4 bucks an hour, something like that. To some people even go cheaper. I don't recommend going too cheap, because if you don't pay your person enough, then they'll work for you for a little bit and then they'll quit and find a better job that pays more. So I like to pay my virtual assistants a little bit better. I usually pay them like $3.50, $4 an hour, something like that, because if you do that, then they're going to stick with you and be really, really, really loyal and really helpful to you. Some people try to, like, oh, I'm going to pay them $2 an hour, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of, you know, starting, well, not even starting. That's like really, 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 really low pay, minimum wage. So they're not going to be very loyal or stick with you very long if you pay that little. But yeah, so but just think about that. You you can hire a person who speaks English, granted, maybe not the best, maybe a little bit broken English, but that's fine. Um, you teach them to do work, and you've got an employee for just a couple bucks an hour. It's crazy and it's amazing. So virtual assistants are an awesome tool, but they are people just like anything else. So you gotta make sure you're hiring somebody good. You can hire a great employee, or you could not do a good job and hire a super lazy one, and then you're just paying them to do not much of anything. So it's it's hard. It's definitely hard. You've got to really have an employer kind of mindset. You can't just go into it and just be like, oh, hey, you'll do okay, cool, I'll pay you. You really gotta vet these people, and in this kind of situation, you are the employer. You've got to interview them. You got to get a whole bunch of applicants, and then narrow them down and narrow them down and narrow them down to find the right ones. And I'm not really going to go into how you find someone good, because it takes a lot of time. I'll tell you where you can find them, but like I said, you have to be good at vetting. It's really easy. Like Upwork, for example, is great to find people, because you can post a job, say what it is. You'll get a bunch of people who will apply, and then you kind of have to narrow it down to the good ones. And I really would I would not recommend. There's a lot of stuff. If you're new to this and you just want a virtual assistant and you don't really know what to do, don't do this, because you're going to screw yourself. Don't try to just hire a virtual assistant on Upwork, because tons of people do it. There's a whole lot of horror stories that you hear of people trying to hire a virtual assistant, and then it doesn't work, and they steal their information, or they're lots of rotten stuff. They do everything wrong. They just suck. They're really really lazy. There are a bunch of problems that you can have, because most people who try to do this screw it up, and that's why there's so many horror stories. You got to find someone that is legit and honest and trustworthy that you can hire, that is going to be very very helpful. So the site to do it, it's free. You can post a job, but the hard part is narrowing that down and getting people that are legit and ones that you're actually going to want to work with. There is, it takes, honestly, it takes like hours and hours and hours of research to really like learn how to do it well. And another site too is what's it? Onlinejobs.ph, but that one I think you have to pay. And that's like, but I just recommend Upwork, because it's free to do that. But yeah, the hard part is you'll get a bunch of applicants, but you have to be able to narrow it down. And if you don't know how to do that, like I said, at least for me, there are a bunch of different steps that you have to go through to know how you're going to get a good person. So that's why I don't recommend just doing it on your own. You can, if you've got the time, if you want to take, 3 or 4 days into just learning how to hire a virtual assistant and have it be successful, then you can do that. You can take a bunch of time to do that. Also, some people have come out with like courses on how to find good virtual assistants and things like that. So, I mean, you could check that out, but they're kind of expensive. Or you can use a site like hireva.com, and they basically just you know, you just straight up, you don't buy a virtual assistant, but basically they take care of all of the whole hiring process for you. And so that's, if you want to just get going right away, Hire VA is pretty great because you can just go on there and then just basically order a VA, and you know they will handle all the hiring. They'll go through all that work, find someone that is legit and trustworthy, and then basically hook you guys up, and they'll do the work for you. And they've got, you know, set rates and everything. Like I think it's like $3.50 an hour. So Hire VA, a service like that, might be more helpful to you if you don't have the time to just sit down and watch a ton of content on how to hire someone, because you know it's a very big shift, and a lot of people who do drop shipping are more the type of person who likes to, you know, is more introverted and likes to just sort of work on their computer and keep it to themselves. But virtual assistants, you know, it's an amazing, you're the boss. You tell them what needs to happen, what they should be doing. You teach them how to do it, and then they do it. So very, very, very useful thing, and they make it much easier to scale. It's pretty hard to scale without virtual assistants. So I have virtual assistants, and I train them to, you know, they check all my orders, anything that RB Ship misses. They respond to messages for me. They check all my cases. They do my entire eBay dropshipping business, and I pay them like $3.50 an hour for the most part. The manager, I pay a little bit more, but $3.50 an hour to just completely manage my business for me. And I could do it myself, but I'd rather pay $3.50 an hour to completely free up, you know, that time for myself. So yeah, virtual assistants are amazing. If you're looking for a free place to hire them, you can go on Upwork to do it, but you have to, you know, really know what you're doing and know how to vet these people. You know, do multiple interviews with them and stuff like that, and yeah, get through all that goodness. Or if you want to use Hire VA, then they will just hook you up with someone good right off the bat, and then you don't really have to stress out. And I think they even have a thing, like if it doesn't work, that just replace and hook you up with a new person. But yeah, that's what virtual assistants are and how to find them. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you're new to dropshipping and you're trying to figure out how to get started, I've got a full free set of training videos down there, link in the description. It goes over everything you need to know about how to get started making money online. And the average person following my method makes around $500 to $800 profit per month after expenses for each 1,000-item eBay store that they have set up and running. They're really not that hard to get started. If you've got any questions about anything dropshipping related, feel free to hit me up on Facebook. I'll put a link down there, as well as a link to a group that I started with hundreds of other dropshippers that you can join. I post new content on this channel every couple days, so go ahead and subscribe and click the notifications, and I'll see you back here with another video in a couple days.